God needs people to be those beacons of light.
Do you run up against that in the Hollywood world, the show business and all that, where you have to make these kinds of choices that are difficult? Have you lost parts as a result of these kinds of choices?
Sure, but there's only one choice to make.
I met Steve McAvity, his producing partner, at a picnic bench one day. They called my agent up, and but they didn't want to let out that it was a passion movie about Jesus. So they sent me a script called Mavericks that they're actually considering doing, and the script wasn't that good. So that's what I told him firsthand. And then about 40 minutes in, Mel Gibson shows up. And he, in person, very shy, always looking down, and he smokes nonstop. And but for 15 years, as I got to know him, that he had 15 years that he felt in his heart that God was calling him to make this movie. And he knew what would happen if he did this movie. And eventually, they used the surfing movie as a front, and he started talking about Jesus this and Jesus that, different thing, and I'm looking at him thinking about Jesus on a surfboard. You want me to play Jesus? And he says, yep. And the next day, he called me at home, and he tried to talk me out of it. And that's how it is. You make a commitment to Christ that you're going to do that, and then the devil comes in and sifts you out. And all of a sudden, I shouldn't have had this meeting. I shouldn't have done this. I've done all these things, and people will find out eventually that this is the kind of person I am, and I can't do this movie. I'm the wrong guy. I shouldn't direct this. And so he called me. He says, if you do this movie, you may never work in this town again. I don't want to be responsible for that. And I felt the fear because I thought of all the nice things that I have, and I realized that God had got me into this business, that my talent came from God, not from man. And so I said, look, man, we're all called to carry our own cross. If you don't pick up and carry your cross, you will be crushed by the weight of it. He got real quiet on the phone, and I said, oh my. He said, what? I said, I just realized my initials are JC, and I'm 33 years old. And he says, God, you're freaking me out. And hung up the phone. Initially, I just said, all right, here's a script. I read it. And, okay, this is what you do with any script. And I start researching it. And this one was right to the Bible. But what was amazing is that everybody wants resurrection. Nobody wants suffering. But can you have the gold medal without suffering? Mm-hmm. Can you sit on... Does a man, when he's sitting there and his country's flag is going up and he's got a gold medal around his neck and he's weeping, is he going, I'm crying because Nike just called and is giving me a $30 million contract? That right. Must be it. Yeah. Or is it that I see the sacrifice, I see my family suffering, I see them you're joined to a lot of other people that have given so much into your country and to people that have given their life for God. In paying with their own blood, and you hear the Star-Spangled Banner. Much the same way, in this piece, I wanted this thing to transcend. If I'm going to do this movie, I don't want to do the passion of mediocrity or something that is a little pagan, that he wasn't handed over by his own, that only the Romans were so responsible. But if you look at it day after day, that we all are part of handing Christ over when we contribute to sin, especially when we betray him and we are Christians. Mm-hmm. But Jesus then continues to tell us to get back up, to try, to keep going. Mm-hmm. Doing the movie going about doing this movie was... thinking that if we had done this thing in a controlled set, you would have never saw the performance. It was truly birthed in pain. Oh. And it immediately threw me on my face. If you want to look at it this way, the problem I see right now is the fact that many Christians have immersed themselves in paganism. They want to be cool to their Christian or pagan friends by being a little pagan so they can be cool. There's nothing cool in this. The only thing lacking in you is that you don't want to be holy. Well, here's what will happen. We'll all come to task one day, and you either get a chance to lay it down for Jesus, or you'll get to deny him. But it will come in our generation this way. There are many things that you see on the horizon right now where you're going to have to make a choice. You will have to make a choice.